All right, we're going to get a little trickier here. We're on NeoPixels 106. Okay, so a bit more advanced here. If you look at our preview area here, we have another strip magically added. Okay, this is still on pin 7 right now. Okay, this is pin 11 that this is on. It's sharing ground or sharing power, sharing ground, but the data is coming out of two different ports. Okay, I'm going to show you three ways you can control this. Okay, so first way, probably the easiest way, right here. So we're gonna delete this blink green and all that stuff, right? So we're just gonna blink red again. I'm gonna re-upload this, and we're gonna go back to just having the red blinking on this little 8 LED strip. Okay. All right. So it's blinking this thing on this LED strip. Kind of cool. Whatever, right? So every time it blinks, I'm gonna have it change to a different strip here. Okay. So what we're gonna do is if red curly strip equals not, I guess I can't use the word strip, huh? Let's go strips equals not strips, semicolon and curly bracket. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So red turns on. We want red turns off. So I guess if not red, and we have to have a bool called, oh, we can steal from our green there. Bool called strips. Okay. Okay. So a little bit to explain here. So if red is 0, right? So under our if statement, if it returns false or 0, it's going to execute this. Okay. So if red is set to turn off, I guess we'll miss that. So maybe we should have if it's positive. Never mind. Okay. So if red's set to turn on, it's going to go from one strip to another strip. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, and I'll show you, it should be a little buggy. Okay, I know it gets buggy when you do 6. I don't know if it gets buggy when you do 2. Okay, if strips strip dot set pin, we've got 1 on 7, 1 on 11, right? Okay, strip dot set pin 7. Okay, and the curly. Cool. Copy that, paste that. Okay. If not strips, so if strips equals 0, or if strips equals 0, then we're going to set the pin to 11. So what we should have here, I'll go over this. I know this can look really confusing and weird. We're getting into some deeper stuff here. What we're going to have is it blinks the second LED here, which is LED 1, turns off, blinks that one, turns off. Okay. So let's take a close look at this. Red equals 0, strips equals 0, right? Okay. Once timer exceeds the blink red, it increments blink red up to 100 milliseconds. Red now equals, not red, so red equals 1, right? So if red equals 1, strips now equals 1, okay? Okay, keep that in mind, okay? Red equals 1, strips equals 1. If strips equals 1, we're going to set our strip pin to 7, okay? Now that it's set to 7, we're going to set the first NeoPixel to red, or the second NeoPixel, NeoPixel 1 to red. We're going to show. We're going to end this. 200 milliseconds later, okay? So red equals 1, then it passes this line right here. Now red equals 0. Okay? So this will not do anything. So we're going to skip that because red is no longer equal 1. Okay? But we're still strip still equals 1. So if strip dot set pin 7, so we're still on pin 7, right? And red equals 0. So 0 times 100 is 0. So it's going to set that second pixel to 0, 0, 0. So it's going to turn that pixel off and it's going to show. Okay. So we showed you when red equals 1 and when red equals 0, right? Now red's going to equal 1 again. Okay, so red was 0. 200 milliseconds later, red's 1 again. Okay. Now, if red equals 1 or if red strips equals not strips. So strips was 1, now strips is 0. Okay? If strips is 0, it's going to set the pin to 11. And then it's going to flash it. And then it's going to turn it off. Then it's going to set the pin to 7, flash off, set the pin to 11, on, off. Okay? Let's watch this in action, and let's also start a serial monitor just for our sanity. Okay? So up here, we'll do a serial dot begin. Start our parentheses 11:5200. Okay. So we're gonna set it kind of fast, and it's gonna be helpful when it's fast like this. Okay. So after it changes everything, we're gonna display all this information for us, right? So serial dot print. Start our parentheses, end the parentheses, semicolon. We're going to copy that. Okay. And inside of here, we want, let's see, strip. Let's see, and then, and that quote. All right. So strip. Next line, we're going to print out strips. Okay. So it's going to print out the word strips plus a colon. Then it's going to print out the variable, which will be 0 or 1. Okay, next line. Put quote space. And then LED colon quote and parentheses semicolon. Oh, whoops, we already had that. Oh, I actually had that wrong. Semicolon, semicolon. Okay, and I'm still going to control V this, even though I know I have to fix it. And this will be a print, and then go to the next line after that. So serial.println. And we're going to print, what are we doing? Red. Okay. We're also going to change this to 2000, okay? Let's go really slow so it makes sense for us. Okay? Actually, you know what? We'll keep it at 200. We'll upload this, and then we'll talk about like how to understand exactly what it's doing, because this is a little more complex here. So basically, we're flashing one of these, we're changing the pin out, and then we're flashing the next one here. Okay? And so yeah, we're not working here. We missed one thing. Okay? So pin mode 11 comma output in parentheses semicolon. Okay, let's give that a try. Because the pin has to be an output to actually broadcast data. That's one of the things strip.begin does. I got one more idea here. Okay, still doesn't work. Let's change it to the right pin. This is pin 12. Pin 12. Upload. Hey, that looks like it works a lot better when I choose the right strip here. Okay, so we're broadcasting to this strip, then broadcasting to this strip, broadcasting to this, right? So this is one way to talk to multiple strips, is have it change the pin, okay? So right now we just modified the previous code. I'm going to make this a lot easier for us to understand. I'm going to delete all this, okay? All that's deleted. So strip.set pixel color. Actually, let's first of all do strip.set pin 7. Okay. And we'll set pixel color. We'll set the first one. And we'll try to make it yellow. Let's try to make that. Let's see. How do we make yellow? So we need a little bit of red and an even less amount of green. So I'll do 200 red, comma 55 green, and no blue. Okay. Semicolon strip dot show. Okay. And I'm going to copy all this. And I'm going to set the pin to 12, not 11. Whoops. To 12. And I want to set that, I don't know, purple. So I'll make this 127. Make this one 128. Okay. And dot show. Cool. So it's going to use pin 7 to broadcast a yellow-ish, and use pin 12 to broadcast purple-ish. Okay. So let's see if that works here. It should stop blinking. It should just be yellow and purple. Okay, kind of orange, not very yellow, and kind of not. Oh, I know why that's not purple. I'm going to fix that real fast. 127 here and 0. And that is pretty orange. So I'm going to do like 225, and this will be 30. Okay, but either way, we have one strip here, right, in our code, and we just changed the pin out to talk to different ones. Okay? So that is more orange, so I went the wrong way. But that is nice and purple. So, yeah, how do we go the right way here? Well, anyways, we'll worry about that later. So this is one way to broadcast to multiple strips, okay? One problem with this is that this is 8 pixels. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pixels, okay? So if I wanted to be able to talk to all these, I'd have to go up in my code and make sure that I specify there's 11 pixels. Okay, because it's got to be the maximum number of pixels. Now, I could just set the first 8 to the short one and have it strip.show, and then set all 11 over here and have it show. So I'm saving a lot of memory here by doing this. It also takes the tiniest bit of time to switch over from this pin to this pin. So if you're doing huge amounts, like, just keep that in mind, that this can be buggy when you're trying to do this high speed. Okay. Okay. So let's look at the next way to do this. Okay. So right now we're using the set pin way to do it. I'm gonna get rid of this, and now we're gonna do. So right now we have strip, right? So we're gonna do strip 1, and I'm gonna copy this, paste it, and make an object called strip 2. Okay. Strip 1.begin, strip 1.show. Get rid of this pin mode thing here. Oh, I guess we never even looked at the serial monitor. Whoops. Whatever. Okay. Copy this, paste that. Strip 2.begin, strip 2.show. Okay. So LED count, I'm going to just put them in custom like here. Okay. LED count on strip 1 is 8. LED count on strip 2 is 11. Okay, get rid of that. We don't need it. Get rid of all this baloney here. Okay. And so what we're going to do here, get rid of that too. Strip 1 dot set pixel color, and let's try to get a better yellow here. So let's do 180 and 75. Okay. Strip 1 dot show. Copy, paste. All right. And let's try to get a deeper purple. So I'm going to go on the other strip. Let's go with deeper purple. So 100, comma 0, comma 155. Okay. So that's strip 2. So instead of changing the pin, we actually have two objects now. We have an object called strip 1, object called strip 2. Okay? They can all use the same commands. They can, because they're based off the NeoPixel library. Okay, same data order, same everything. So let's see, we got these. To make sure it changed, I'm gonna do the third pixel. So I'll do 2 and 2. Okay, hit upload. And it should be up here with a more yellowish, and it should be over here with a deeper purple. It looks kind of pink in this video here on this camera. Oh, and we've got an artifact. Perfect. I was sort of... Yeah, why do we have an artifact like that? Let's take a look here. Ah, okay. I see why. So we have two strips with the same pin. So my bad. See how we use pin 7 for both these? Let's delete that. So the first one is on pin 7. The next one's on pin 12. So we're getting some really weird interference here. Okay, so let's actually tell them they're on different pins. Whoops. All right, there we go. That's a pretty good yellow. Still a little golden, but that's a pretty good yellow. And that's a pinker purple, but that's all right. Okay, so we're looking at the second way. First way was we change the pin and we broadcast on that pin, right? Second way is create two objects. Okay. So let's look at a third way. Third way's one of my favorites, but it's much more complex. Okay. Okay. Before we look at the third way, let's just try this here. Okay. I'm gonna go back to 1. Well, I guess let's see. Undo that. Get rid of this here, and let's blank out. Whoops. I accidentally hit the check instead of the upload. Now we gotta wait. Okay. Yeah, it compiled. Now I hit upload and it's just gotta recompile because Arduino's not the most efficient. That's alright. It's actually pretty powerful. It's the right price. Alright, so now all of our LED strips are blank. Okay. So get rid of that. Get rid of this here. The other one. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay. So we've got 8 pixels on pin 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is make an array, okay? So I'm going to call this int, I don't know, reds equals, I'm going to go 255, comma, let's say, I don't know, 127, comma, 0, comma, 0, okay? Oh, whoops, semicolon. I'm going to make greens equal, let's say 0, comma 0, comma 0, comma 255. Okay, semicolon, or sorry, curly bracket, semicolon. Okay, and then int blues equals, let's see, what are we doing? We're going to do 0, comma 128, comma 1, I guess 255, comma 0. Okay. Semicolon. Okay, now we're going to use our for loop again, okay? So under loop, we'll do for int a, whoops, int a equals 0. Whoops. Int a equals 0. A is less than 4, a plus plus. And the parentheses, start the curly, enter. Okay, one more thing I'm missing here. There we go. Tell it that it's an array. That's 4 wide. Cool. All right. So this is gonna get a little complex, and I'll show you how this works. Okay. So strip dot set pixel color. Start our parentheses. Okay. So A for our pixel, right? So reds A, right? So what it's gonna do here, when A is 0, it's gonna grab the 0th number. So it's gonna grab 255 right here. Okay, when it's 1, when A is 1, it's going to grab the first number, or the 1th number, which is the second, I guess. Number 2, number 3. So it's going to grab number 0 for 0, number 1 for 1, number 2 for 2, number 3 for 3. Okay? So red, comma, greens, A, comma, blues, A. Okay? So it's going to take all those, and then we're going to do strip.show. All right. So if we do this right, it should be, let's see, what is that? All red, purple. Oh, this reds was not declared. That's all right. We'll fix that. Okay, so yeah, it should be red, purple, blue, and then green. So red, purple, blue, green. Okay. Hey, and look at that. We have red, purple, blue, green. Cool. So this is how arrays work, right? Kind of cool with variables. All right, so let's get even deeper. Okay. Adafruit NeoPixel equals strip. Okay. So, okay, we're going to get a little more complex here, right? So what if we could take objects and make them strips? Whoops. Okay. Okay. So it's going to be a slightly different here. Okay, we gotta label this or use this library a little bit differently. Okay. So this is Adafruit NeoPixel strip. I'm going to put that away for just a second. Adafruit NeoPixel strip, and we're going to make this have 2. Okay. So just like this, where we tell how many the variable has, we're going to tell how big this object is, right? Equals, and then we're going to start our curly here, and we have to reinitiate the library. Okay. So grab this, Control C. Let's see. Let's just put it here. That's fine. It's going to take up a little space. Adafruit NeoPixel. And we need all this baloney, right? C, Control V. All right. So our first object is all this stuff right here, right? And as you can see from our variables, it goes in curly. So curly, and this one's 4 wide. So curly bracket, value, comma, value, comma, value, comma, value. This one is curly bracket, library with parameters, and then we do a comma, enter. Okay. Copy all this. Put a bunch of spaces here. Control V. And then end the curly, semicolon. Okay. So we're going to do, let's see. So that's 11 pixels for the second strip, and it's on pin 12. Okay. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this and this part right there. There we go. Okay, so now we've got this array of objects. Okay. Okay. So we can't do a strip.begin and strip.show, but we can do a for int a equals 0, a is less than 2, a plus plus. Okay, so we can do, I'm going to increase that indent a little. Right click, increase indent. So for int a equals 0, a is less than 2, so a is going to equal 0, then a is going to equal 1, right? So we want to do a strip a dot begin and strip a dot show. Okay, semicolon. All right. So let's hit upload and see what goes wrong here, because now that it's an array, you can't just give it plain old commands like this. You actually have to tell it which strip to actually do, which strip to upload. Okay. Oh, look at that. We have an issue. Of course we have an issue, because it is not the same type, right? It is not an arrayed variable. Okay. Okay, keep that in mind here, right? So what I'm going to do here is type this in manually, right? Strip 0 dot set pixel color, and I'm going to do, I don't know, the fourth pixel, and I'm going to make it a little bit of green here. Okay. And then I'm going to do strip 0 dot show. All right. That's one weird way to do it. Perfect. Cool. Okay. And then we're going to talk to strip 1 here. Strip 1, we'll do the 6th pixel. We'll make it 0, and then we'll do a comma and not a period. Whoops. Comma, not a period. And we'll make it a little bit of blue here. And strip 1 dot show. All right. So let's upload this and see if it works. And look at that. Okay, strip 0, pixel number 4 here is green. Strip 1, pixel number 6 here is blue. All right, so we went through 3 different ways, right? So we did strip dot set pin, right? And picked a pin to broadcast on. This way takes the least amount of memory, okay? Because you only have to set the longest strip here and initialize that. But every single time you want to go to a strip, you have to fill that strip's data with stuff, right? So it might be slower processing wise, but the Arduino's pretty fast, so probably not an issue. Second way we did it was created an object. So we did strip 1 and we had strip 2, right? So we had an object called strip 1, we gave that commands. We had an object called strip 2, we gave that commands. Okay? This one, we created an array of objects. So it doesn't have to be 2. We could have an array of 10 different strips here, and they could all be the same length. So this would be great for like making a grid of things, making an RTA where the lights react to the music, all sorts of stuff you could do here. But it's a lot easier to organize it with this, and so you tell each strip to be a color. So 3 different ways to talk to multiple strips on the Arduino. I know this is a tough one, but if you can, just keep going here because these are all the basics. These are are the building blocks of some of the coolest programs you can ever think of. Good job making it this far. Thanks for watching.